Hey there, church. I'm sitting by the driveway where in just a few hours we're going to host our July drive-through dinner. In June at the drive-through dinner, when people came through, the deacons conducted a little poll asking, would you prefer drive-through or would you like to go into more of a sit-down meal like we had before? And they said that the overwhelming preference was for drive-through, and didn't really get into why, but I suspect that part of it has to do with just what a time-scarce world we live in, or a world that feels so strapped for time. I know that our family, when the drive-through dinner comes around, we say, oh, it's Thursday, it's the drive-through dinner. Oh, we don't have to worry about what we're gonna do for dinner tonight. And it really does feel like a gift. Last month I was out in front of the church with Strider. We walked over to pick up our meals, and there was a single mom who was coming through with her 4 kids, and they came out and they did some petting with Strider. And as the kids got back into the car, the mom said, all right, well, we need to go because I need to go back to work. And I thought to myself, you know, what a gift for this family, for this mom who is surely feeling a time crunch all the time, and had a meal to provide for her kids, not necessarily because they needed it financially, but they needed it just for the logistics of life to work for their situation. I'm going on vacation, our family is going on vacation for a couple of weeks, and as I write in the little column in this week's newsletter, one of the gifts of vacation for me is a reoriented relationship with time, where I'm not always thinking about where I need to go, or who I need to get where, or what needs to happen next, or my gosh, how long is that car alarm going to keep going off? But the time becomes bigger and rounder, and I'm able to notice more of God's presence within time. So vacation reveals something to me about myself, that I really do serve time sometimes as kind of a tyrant, that it's less an opportunity to receive the gift of God's presence and ask, okay, God, how is this moment somehow useful for you and your kingdom? And it's often more about just trying to cram stuff in or get stuff done, or just to get by doing what I can in the time that I've got. So I don't like living that way, and that's part of the reason that I made a pretty big commitment in my life recently, making promises and being received as a Benedictine oblate with the World Community for Christian Meditation. I've shared this way of life that I've been growing into with the church a couple of times, and I'm glad to share it with you more if you want to talk with me about it. But a lot of what it means is living a prayer-grounded life according to the spirit of the Rule of Benedict, that really does have to do a lot with how time is used, with work and prayer and study, but also receiving God's presence in every moment and every person as an opportunity for receiving Christ, which is a tall order and something that I fail at miserably all the time, which is why I feel this commitment is such a grace to me. One of the great graces in the church is leadership. It goes without saying that we are in a moment when leadership is just so important for discerning how God is calling us to live into our vision, loving God, sharing relationships, serving others from the heart of Christ on the other side of a pandemic. And the world has changed, but the message of the gospel is as important as ever. We need leaders who will give their time and their energy, their intelligence, their imagination, their love, not just to running the church, but to helping the church to invite others in and kind of embody for themselves this wonderful message of life and liberation and resonance and meaning, and to be signs of the generosity of God in our world where life can feel so scarce in so many ways for so many people who are really out there to serve others. So I encourage you to participate in the nominating process by filling out the electronic form in the e-update. We'll also have paper forms available in worship. And I also really encourage you, if the nominating committee comes and asks you to discern saying yes as an elder or as a deacon or as a member of the audit committee or nominating committee, really pause and listen. Listen not just to your own life, but listen to what you believe the church needs to be about. Listen to what you believe our world really needs from the church, and whether God is asking you to reorient what is really important to you in terms of what is really important in the world, and how you might be called to give yourself to this God who is in time, but is also timeless, more than enough, ready and able to serve us moment by moment as he has in Jesus Christ, and as he continues to do in the power and renewal of the Holy Spirit, to be God's church in this world that so needs to hear that life isn't just about getting by and being efficient and being as productive as you can. Life is about receiving grace and soaking in love and be part of its flow in every moment and in every place. So let's be that church, loving God, sharing relationships, serving others from the heart of Christ.